Hello children, how are you all? Welcome back to Fancy Artist. Long back we have seen, and today we are going to see a new topic. Before that, let's start the session with the brain gym. Come, let's go.
One, two, three, four, and five, six, seven, eight.
In this session, we are going to see a new lesson in chemistry in class 10. Okay, can you guess the topic? Yes, it's nothing but the periodic classification of elements, children. Children, the 18th and 19th centuries know they have already witnessed a rapid development in chemistry in all spheres of scientific activities, we can say that. And then scientists know by the year 1860, they had already discovered 60 elements. Do you know that? And they also determined their atomic masses also. So we have learned about the atomic masses, everything in our class 9 itself. Just recollect those concepts, children. And then the scientists know what they noticed, they noticed some elements they had similar properties, that is chemical and physical properties, and also they arranged them into groups, that is the particles or elements which have the similar properties they can be grouped together, like we studied sorting of materials in our class 6. Yes, like that they discovered the periods. So several new elements were discovered and they grouped them into the periods. These elements they were found to have different properties. So what they realized that instead of studying them individually the elements properties, it would be more convenient for them to divide them into groups and periods, so that there will be a certain number of elements, like fruits and vegetables, they show the order lines, that like that similar properties of elements they are grouped in the periods and also in the groups showing a regular gradation, children. Scientists they made several attempts to arrange elements in a logical way. So you have studied about all these earlier attempts of arrangement of elements in standard 9 itself, okay? So the knowledge gained in the topic periodic classification of elements in standard 9 will earlier concepts and their subsequent things, no, you get set to go ahead with higher order of thinking, children. So now modern periodic law. So before this modern periodic law we use, some difficulties were overcome. For example, atomic mass of argon is greater than that of potassium, but argon comes before potassium in the periodic table. So these elements were arranged solely according to increasing atomic mass. So what happens, no chemist would place argon, a gas with no tendency to react in the same group as lithium and sodium. So what they did, there are so many atoms made by scientists, that is the fundamental property turned out to be a number of protons in an atom's nucleus, something that could not have been known by Mendeleev and other contemporaries. So Henry Moseley, what he did, a British scientist in 1912, discovered a new property of elements called the atomic number, so which provided a better basis for the periodic arrangement of the elements. The modern periodic law states that the physical and the chemical properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their atomic number. So that's about the modern periodic law, and it is a tabular arrangement of elements in periods and groups, highlighting the regular repetition of the properties of the elements. Now let us see the features of periods, children. So as I told you that the periods are nothing but the horizontal rows in the periodic table. Okay. So how many periods are there in the periodic table? They are the 7 periods. Okay. In that the first period will be the atomic number 1 and 2. This is the shortest period, we can say that, and it contains only two elements, hydrogen and helium. And the second period is the atomic number 3 to 10, and this is a short period, we can say, and it contains 8 elements like lithium to neon. And the third period is atomic number 11 to 18, and this is also a short period. It contains the 8 elements starting from sodium to argon. And the next is the fourth period, atomic number 19 to 36, and this is a long period, we can say, children, and it contains 18 elements in it. What are they? From potassium to krypton, and this includes 8 representative elements and also 10 transition elements in it. And coming to the fifth period, atomic number 37 to 54. This is also a long period, we can say, and it contains 18 elements starting from rubidium to xenon, and this includes 8 representative elements and 10 transition elements, children. And the sixth period will be from the atomic number 55 to 86, and this is the longest period, we can say, and it contains 32 elements starting from cesium to radon, 8 representative elements and 10 transition elements and 14 inner transition elements like lanthanides. And the seventh period, the last period, is the atomic number 87 to 118. Like the sixth period, this also accommodates 32 elements, children, and recently 4 elements have been included by IUPAC in this, children. That's all about the periods. They are nothing but the horizontal rows in the periodic table. Now let us move to the groups. Before that, let me share why should we learn this periodic table. You'll have a question, no? So how we can connect this in our day-to-day life by studying this periodic table? How I'm going to correlate this theory part with my real life. So we will see that first, and then let me move to the groups, children. So first and foremost is when you understand the chemical reactions, how this chemical reactions takes place. For this, the periodic table will be very helpful for you. Then and then industrial applications are also will be useful by this chemical reactions. So for that, this periodic table will help us what are the properties of the element and how it is been placed in the periodic table. That's the first thing, children. And the next one, material selection. So, the periodic table guides or helps us by knowing the properties of the material, which material we can select for construction, which we use for semiconductors, and which can be used for various other applications in the industries. So, like that, it helps us to select the material for specific application in the real life. That's the second one, material selection. Not only industries and not only chemical reactions, these elements are very useful in the living organisms also for our nutrition and health. So there are various elements which are very essential for our health, and also it also plays a major role in the human being nutrition also. For example, we get iron from the greens. We get iron from various materials like fruits, papayas, yes, and then we will get calcium from the milk. So, like that, we can list n number of nutrients. They are called the micronutrients. Like macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, fats, we will say no. These micronutrients are nothing but the trace elements in the health department. So they are also useful in the nutrition and health. Moreover, living organism itself is a carbon compound, I can say that, organic compound, we can say. So, like this, each and every part of the human body or living organisms, they are made up of some elements, children. So, what I am trying to say is the periodic table is also useful to study the living organism structure and the health and nutrition also. Coming to the next point is environmental awareness. So, by knowing the elements which are very toxic, which are very harmful to the environment, we can prevent our ecosystem from those toxic elements, isn't it? So, the elements which are toxic, like lead, mercury, arsenic, and the radioactive elements which we study in the transition elements, no, it is also very helpful to be aware about the environmental concern. Next, the periodic elements are very useful in consumer products. Yes, so they are very essential in certain consumer products like smartphones and then the electronic items. Okay, so lithium, which is very useful in batteries and also in electric vehicles, and rare earth elements. They are also very useful in magnets and electronics. So, like this, we can list many elements in the consumer products, children. Now I'll give an activity. You can make a list of elements which are used in the consumer products. Finally, we are going to understand how these elements are going to be useful in the industrial productions also. So in the beginning I said that they are very useful for understanding the chemical reactions in the industries. Not only that, they are also very helpful to understand the chemical processes which happens in the production field in the industries like steel production, iron production, and inorganic fertilizer production. Like that, we can list n number of productions. This is how the periodic elements are very useful in our day-to-day life, children. Now, let us move to the groups and its properties. Now, look at this. We are going to see about the features of groups in the periodic table, children. So, here, the vertical columns in the periodic table, no, they are the groups from top to bottom. Okay. Now, let me explain all the groups one by one. So, if you take the first group, no, I have placed this in hydrogen. It is the alkali metals. And then the second one is alkaline earth metals. And then from group 3 to group 12, they are the transition metals. And then from boron, it is the 13th group, it is a boron family, and then 14th is the carbon family, 15 is the nitrogen, and then 16 is the oxygen family, or it is also known as the chalcogen family, and then the group 17 is the halogens, and group 18 is the noble gases. Understood? So in this, the lanthanides and actinides series are the inner transition elements. Okay, they are come under the transition elements, and they are the inner transition elements, actinoids and then lanthanides. And then except the group 18, no, this group 18, all the elements present in each group, they have the same number of electrons in their valence shell, and thus they have the same valency. Okay, for example, all the elements, if you take all the elements in the group 1, okay, they have one electron in the valence shell. Valence shell means the outermost shell in the atom, or the outermost orbit, we can say. So the valency of all alkali metals will be 1. What is valency? Number of electrons present in the outermost shell of an atom. So this oneness the elements they have, the outermost valence shell is 1. And as the elements present in the, what to say, group, no, they have identical valence shell electronic configuration, they possess similar properties, children. Okay, and then if you take the physical properties, they will have the melting point, boiling point, and density, it all vary gradually. And also the elements in the groups, they have identical valence shell electronic configuration, so that they have the similar properties, that is chemical properties. And if you take the 18th group elements, they are the non-reactive groups, because they have the stable electronic configuration, they obey the octet rule, they have 8 electrons in their outermost shell, they no need to react with any other elements, so that we can say they are the inert elements or inert gases, we can say. They are also the rare earth elements also, we will say. That's about the groups, children. So, what are the key features of the modern periodic table, children? The first is all the elements are arranged based on their atomic number. And the second thing is chemical and physical properties are at the regular intervals. And if you take the elements are clearly classified into metals, metalloids, and the non-metals, and then they have the orbitals in it. The elements are arranged based on their s orbital, that is s block, p block, d block, and f block elements based on their electrons present in the valence shell. And finally, they have the compact design, that the innermost transition elements have been given compact design in the modern periodic law. Okay, children. So the modern periodic table has all the benefits, like all the 118 elements have been organized properly, and then it is a brilliant achievement, we can say that, an essential tool in various industrial applications as well as the factories as well as nutrition and health department. Not only that, it is also a predictive tool for various synthetic elements. Okay, children. If you have any doubts, please comment me, and also like and share and subscribe for more videos. Thank you. Have you understood all the concepts in periodic table? I took only the introduction part and also the features of the rows and columns and the modern periodic law and what is the modern periodic table. Yes? Hope you would have understood all the concepts. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.